Hello, what I want to do today is show you how to edit a multicam clip in DaVinci Studio. Couldn't be easier, it makes life so much more simple if you're trying to edit from multiple cameras. So I'm doing this for a friend of mine, but I thought I'll put it out there if anybody else wants to watch it, just to let you see how simple it is. What I've done is I've prepared two video feeds. Now, you can have more, you can have 3, 4, whatever you want. You can have as many as you like, really. I'm just going to use 2 for convenience. So you've got your normal DaVinci Studio view. Import your video files. Now, I've got 3 video files, actually. The 360 view, I've got a chin mount view, which is where my audio is connected, and I've got my title introduction. I've just added the introduction to show you how easy it is to drop that in. So I'll bring all these files in to my media pool, and then obviously I need to go to the timeline view on DaVinci Studio. There. So I'm going to pull in onto the timeline my 360 view, and I'm going to pull in to the timeline my chin mount view. Okay, so you've got both audio clips and both video clips all there. I'm going to turn my inspector back on. So this is the view that you'll normally have. Now, I sync up my videos using 1, 2, 3 clap, like that. So if I mute one of these audio tracks and press play. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3 clap. You can see there on the bottom audio file, that is my clap. So we know where that is, that peak is. We'll mute that audio track, unmute the first one, and play it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and if you can see there, just at that point is my clap. You can see the peak on the timeline. So I'll move my pointer over to the clap that is to the furthest right, and I'll move this one so that the peak matches up. I cut off the bits that I don't want. And that's both of my video feeds now start at exactly the same point. They start at my clap. Okay, so you can edit a video like that if you wanted to. I found it quite messy to do it that way, where you're having to cut and move, change views and delete various segments. It's far easier to do it on multicam. So if you look up to your left to your media pool, you've got the 3 original files that I pulled in, plus you've got one that says timeline 1. Right click on timeline 1 and choose create timeline, convert timeline to multicam clip. Come across and use adaptive audio channels, and everything disappears off your timeline. Good so far? Okay, so if you pull the timeline, the file that says timeline down onto your timeline, you have what looks like an individual video file. Now, both your video files are there, it's just that you can't see them all at once. How you get to view them is, well, first of all, before we do that, let's move across, because there's obviously quite a lot of video there that I'm not going to use because it's not the actual start of my video. So let's say we'll start the video there. So I'll chop off the bits that I don't want to use, and the video will continue on from there. Happy with that. But as far as you're concerned, you can only see one view. In this particular view, you're looking at the 360 camera. If you go to the top right and turn your inspector off, so where it says inspector, just click that, and you'll see now 2 screens appear. The right-hand screen is the one that we were just looking at. The left-hand screen is blank at the moment. If you come down here and change that to multicam, you will see that you can look at both your cameras. And that's how multicam works. So if I press play, you can see that both cameras are in sync and they're both in that timeline. Okay. Now, for the sake of argument, the view on the right-hand side is the view that will be produced when you render the video. Now, for the sake of argument, let's say I want to use the chin mount view to start the video. All I do on the left-hand screen is click video 2, and you'll see that the right-hand screen changes to video 2, and that is what will appear on the render. Go back to the start. Now this part is something that a lot of people forget or miss out on. If you look at your audio file in the timeline, the green line, it says timeline 1, audio 1. My audio is connected to my chin mount camera, and the chin mount camera is actually video 2. So what I need to do is change this to audio 2, and you do that by right-clicking, switch multicam clip angle, and change it to audio 2. That's all you need to do. And now, instead of listening to the built-in microphone that's on the 360 camera, you're now listening to the microphone that's in my helmet. And I can let you see that it's much quieter, and you're going to hear me cough in a second. There you go. So you're hearing what I want you to hear. Okay, so far. So we'll let that play till we get to a stage where I might want to put in my introduction. There we go. Might as well put it in where I coughed there. So you put a split in, pull in my title, which will pull into the second video track, and that's my title there, and I'll pull my original timeline across so that it joins at the end. Okay. So now, goes along, done my cough, go into my title, right? Okay, so we've played the title, and now we kind of continue on. Now, at any stage you want, you can change it to the other view, if you like. So if I click there, it changes to the other view. I'll stop it for the moment, and what I like to do is I don't like it to just chop and change like that as a straight, it's just a bit sudden for me. So if you come to your effects, go to video transitions, the one I normally use is additive dissolve. I just pull that in as a transition between the two. So instead of the jump, you now get a gradual fade like that, which I think just looks better, but it's personal choice. And you carry along, you say, right, I want to perhaps add a title. So you can go to titles, pull in a title, whatever you want it to be. Now that says sample. Now this is where you need your inspector again. So again, you come to the top right, turn the inspector off, change sample to say whatever you want. So I'll just call it message. And you can go to your video transitions, and you can add a transition onto that if you so desire. Let me just make that a little bit bigger because it's a little bit small. Oops, not paying attention. So we'll say push, and push at the end. So now we come along, message comes in, message goes out. Nice and easy. Nothing that you're not all used to, I am sure. So again, now that we've done that, we can turn the inspector back on, off rather, and then we've got our two views. You can change this left-hand view at any time by choosing one of the options that come down. One thing I will say is that occasionally this little razor blade icon, when you hover over video 1 or video 2, changes to a kind of film reel type icon. If it does that, just click away from where it says multicam and click back into it, and that will change your change it back to the razor blade. So we'll carry on playing. Now this is us sitting at traffic lights. So very boring footage. Really don't want to have much of that if we can avoid it. So I'll run it forward until the lights go green. There we go. So the lights are green there. I'm going to cut that off there, and I'm going to pop back to where I joined the traffic lights. Actually, we'll just make it there because I forgot I had put the title in. So I'm going to cut there as well. This is all straightforward stuff that I'm sure you're all familiar with, but I just want to make sure that I kind of cover everything that might come up. So we've cut out a section, we've joined it up. Obviously at that stage I would want to stick in a transition as well, and it can be whatever you want it really. Let's just choose that one and we'll stick that in there. Okay, so now we've got our title, it goes away, and then we're away. The lights have changed as if by magic. I wish it happened in real life. And that's it. You just pop along, change your view as much as you want, stick in a transition, because I always do. And you can change your view back again at any time. Again, I always stick in a transition. So if we start from the beginning, very quickly, I'm going to turn the inspector back on. This is what will be in the final edit. So, chin mount view with the chin mount. The title screen comes in. I can put a transition on that as well if I should have done, but I didn't. But it's up to you if you want to do something like that. Off we jolly well. Moving along, we've got a transition coming along shortly. So there we go, changing into the 360 view, joining the traffic lights. We have our message pull in. Message goes away, lights change to green. And we head on our merry way, and we have our transitions as we go along. So very, very easy. And once you're finished, I'm singing. So we'll stop it there. Once you're finished editing, you do exactly what I've showed you for the length of your video, and then you would just click, well, let me just cut that there, and there. I'll just say that's going to be the end of my video, and I would just export it wherever I want it to go. Simple as that. It really is very, very easy to use multicam. So I hope that was useful. Any questions, stick them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.